Florida State once again finding a way to win a football game, this time not with their second-string quarterback, with their third-string true freshman quarterback, Brock Glenn. Final score was 16-6 over Louisville. A lot of shade being thrown at Louisville now, in retrospect. Same people that were picking Louisville to win the football game are now throwing shade at Louisville for not getting it done. That's a double-digit win football team in Louisville, by the way, so probably put some respect on their name a little bit. But what does this mean for Florida State? What should happen with them when it comes to the college football playoff? We'll talk about it here in just a second, but first things first, make sure you're subscribed right here. Florida State fans, had a lot of y'all join the party recently, and we appreciate y'all for that. Make sure you're dialed in here so you don't miss a minute of what we got going on right here. We appreciate y'all so much for that. All right, so when it comes to this game, this was exactly what the doctor ordered in terms of how you won this game. Would you have liked it to be by a wider margin of victory? Sure. Spread was 2.5. You're playing your third-string quarterback. You got it done. Like, no apologies for that. It was a gross, low-scoring game. Defense led the way. We said it during the week. We said it in our preview. It happened. Defense, without question, led the way. The entire defensive line room for Florida State probably deserves a trip to New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. If you were to nominate like a position group, I think their defensive line room put a pretty solid performance on tape. 7 total sacks. Come on now. When you needed your defense to step up, Florida State stepped up emphatically. Had that big turnover, too, in the red zone, too. I mean, that was crucial turnover there on the interception to be able to keep Florida State ahead in that game and ultimately end up closing it out towards the end. Your kicker clutch when it counts. Fitzgerald 3 for 4. Got to take points where you can get them in this kind of game. You needed points by nature of what you didn't have offensively. Got it done. We said the running back room, hey, got to step up. Offensive line, got to step up. Got to give your quarterback some support. They did just that to Afili. Over 100 yards rushing, finding a way. Quarterback threw for 55 yards. Did not matter. Your best players on your team didn't get to impact the game the way they wanted to. Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, like those guys, they didn't really get to eat how they probably would like to eat going forward when it comes to these big-time games. Didn't matter. Found a way. That's been the mantra for this team all year long. Again, I'm not sure that margin of victory is what you wanted it to be, but I would also say this. Florida State hasn't necessarily been a team that blows people out consistently every single week. And we said it on here, like they just keep on telling us who they are. They are a team that's more jackhammer than bulldozer. They just chip away at you, find a way to win, especially in that second half. That's where they do their best work. And so what I want to say is even with Jordan Travis, is the margin of victory that much different? Is it? I mean, I'm not saying I know for a fact. I'm just saying Florida State, we've known them to be this team that kind of wins right around that margin. Okay? And Louisville, again, a good football team. In the rain, kind of gross. So, when it comes to the playoff now, and now you may already be watching this after the playoff rankings have been released. We're trying to get these out as soon as possible. So, if you're watching them as the rankings have been out, great. But I would just say this. I understand the argument against Florida State being in the playoff. I do. I'm not even saying I don't agree with it. I think Alabama has proven that they're one of the top 4 teams in the country based on what they did yesterday. But when you talk about what the committee should do, what should they do? Should evaluate the whole team, right? And every argument against Florida State, to be fair, is based in speculation. And whenever there's speculation, there's some burden of proof there. Like, to me, Florida State, I think there's some innocence until proven guilty of not being worthy to make the college football playoff, because all they've done is all they've been asked to do, which is win every single football game. So if you're going to dock them, it has to go very heavily towards the eye test and very heavily towards them not having Jordan Travis. And again, if that's the differentiating factor, I understand. But going back to this, I think there's something to be said, too, for, again, the entirety of the team and talking about the ability to win a football game without not just your starting quarterback, not just your backup quarterback, but to win with your third-string quarterback. What does that say about the rest of this team? What does it say about the rest of what they have in-house? How good is Florida State to win an ACC title in that spot? I think it says a lot about them. So going back to the precedent that's been set with the college football playoff, Ohio State didn't have their starting quarterback either, and they still found their way in. Now, every single playoff field is different, so I don't want to get too heavily into that world, but I just think it is worth saying Florida State, I think, if the committee is doing what the committee has done in previous, years. Like, they probably should be in. They should be in. And so now giving them some time to build this offense around Tate Rodemaker and get him more comfortable, I think it could be good. I think it could be very good for them going forward. So let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. If you're Florida State, what else can you do? What else can you do but check the box in front of you, handle business, just keep on rolling. So Florida State, again, ACC champs. That should not be overlooked. Did it with a true freshman third-string quarterback. That shouldn't be overlooked. And they did it in a tough, gritty fashion, the way they've done it all season long. So make sure you're subscribed here. Don't want y'all to miss a minute of what we got going on right here on this show, The Hard Count. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling now, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.